Women's History virtual celebration. Thank you for joining us. Lucia.
Hi, yes. Thank you. Again, este es el mes de la historia afroamericana y la historia de la mujer. Muy bienvenidos en esta noche, esta celebración que tenemos.
We wanted to let you know that this evening we are offering Spanish interpretations that are live. Shortly, we will activate the Zoom interpretation feature and you will see a button pop up on your screen. If you would like to hear this event in Spanish, please click on the interpretation button and choose Spanish. If you would like to hear it in English, you do not have to click any options.
En breve activaremos la función de interpretación de Zoom y verá un botón emergencia en la pantalla. Si desea escuchar esto en español, haga clic en el botón de interpretación y elija español. Si quiere escuchar este evento en inglés, no es necesario hacer clic en ninguna de las opciones.
We also wanted to let you know that there's a couple of functions. If you logged in through Zoom, you will see that there's a chat function. Typically, we share links and information through here. But this evening, we will have more of a celebration. So if you would like to engage with with our honorees or the attendees, feel free to chat through there. Additionally, if you're having any issues with your audio or video, please click the raise your hand function and we'll be able to help you.
En esta presentación vamos a tener unos enlaces de información. Si usted ve, tenemos el enlace de información ahí abajo. También tenemos la función de levantar la mano si está teniendo dificultad con el audio. Y también, bueno, este evento es para presentar y también reconocer a las personas que han hecho un buen trabajo en la comunidad y queremos reconocerlo. Entonces pueden siempre tener un comentario si gustan, pero de eso se trata esta noche para celebrarlos.
Thank you, Lucia. I would like to first introduce Senator Brooks's office that are with us tonight, as well as our community outreach group. We have with us Lucia Martinez, she's a Director of Constituent Services, Joe Agavino, Director of Communications, myself, Melody Yanza, External Relations Associate, as well as our great community outreach group that has made this event possible and our previous webinars as well. We have Jessica I. Fernandez, as well as Daphne Irizarry, President of Long Island Latino Teachers Association, and Maria Jordan Awalam, Freeport District Board of Trustee. Welcome, thank you. I would like to briefly discuss our agenda for tonight. We will have opening remarks from Senator John Brooks, as well as introducing our honorees for this evening. We have some performances from students from the Freeport Public Schools, as well as performances from students from the Wyandanch Union Free School District, and a presentation by Dr. Habersham from the Wyandanch Union Free School District. This evening, we are very honored to have with us our following honorees for Black History and Women's History Month. We have our keynote speaker, Dr. Lester W. Young Jr., as well as Dr. Odette Hall, Gail Gertrude, Deborah Payton Jones, Monique DeMori, Kesey Tolliver, and Dr. Paula Olivier. Additionally, we have guest speakers from various schools. As I mentioned, we have Alyssa Marcel. She will be performing later on, as well as Katura Forjust, Dr. Monique Habersham, as well as Bachina Jean Noel, Waikela Jordan, Christina Evans, and Samira Lowell. Thank you for joining us. I would like to kick it off now to Lucia to introduce Senator Brooks. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. It is an honor, really, and I'm delighted to be here and celebrate everybody here who's joining us tonight. But it is my privilege and honor to introduce to you Senator John Brooks. Senator, we are so grateful for everything you do for our community, and you really are our hero and a leader in our community, and we want to welcome you to this wonderful webinar that you have the vision to put together, really, with the help of the work group and your team. So thank you so much for all the wonderful work you do in our community. It's a privilege.
Thank you, Lucia. Let me first say that I think Melanie hit the right note when she said tonight is a celebration, and it is. We have an opportunity to recognize several people in our community that contribute so much to each of our towns and villages and school districts and other community-based organizations. You know, history is a wonderful tool when used correctly. There are many, many things in the history of our nation that we can take great pride in. Sorry, that we can take great pride in. Some things we had to learn from too, and that's what life is about. We learn sometimes from our mistakes, as well as our success stories. Tonight, you have an opportunity to meet several people who are part of the success story of each of our communities. I appreciate them being here. I'm not going to stay with us tonight, just other than this introduction, because I've been dealing with this cough and some other issues for a couple days, and I don't want to be disruptive coughing through everything. So I'm gonna bow out. But I just wanted to thank everybody for being there. I want to thank the staff who work so hard to put these programs together. And to our speakers tonight, I want to thank you for being with us, number one. I want to thank you for what you contribute in your own way to each of those communities. And I want you to recognize that each of you are on those positive pages of our history. The people that brought something to the table, the people that made life better, that made our communities better. And like I say, as Melanie said, tonight is a celebration of the contributions that each of you have made. So I've found over the last 2 days, I frequently break into a chain of coughs that are very disruptive, and I do not want to be disruptive to tonight's program. So I'm going to bow out, but thank everyone who's participating. And there's a lot we can be proud of. And what you're going to see tonight is some of the people we can be proud of. And I thank everybody. And I'm going to hope that you have a great meeting, but I don't want to be a disruptive force the way I'm coughing. So I'm going to sign off and say thank you once again. Good night, and everybody enjoy tonight's program.
Thank you very much, Senator Brooks. Really appreciate your time and your dedication in being here with us today. And we definitely hope you feel better. So thank you so much and have a blessed night. You know, as we've mentioned, we're here to celebrate Black History Month and Women's History Month. And really, you know, February actually marks the Black History Month, which was last month. And we're doing a combination today. So, you know, it's a tribute to African-American men and women who have made significant contributions to America and the rest of the world in the field of science, politics, law, education, sports, and many other fields. But today we are honored and we celebrate the men and women who have made positive impact in our community with their historic achievements and contributions. So congratulations to you for both Black History Month and Women's History Month. As you know as well, March is a contribution to women who've made throughout history. Again, the same science, the same extraordinary kind of work. And we celebrate you here today. So thank you for being here. At this moment, it is my privilege and honor to introduce to you it's our keynote speaker. Thank you, Dr. Lester W. Young, for being here with us. It is a privilege and an honor for, you know, taking out some time from your busy schedule to be able to celebrate you tonight. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce to you our Chancellor, New York State Board of Regents, Dr. Lester W. Young. If you could please you do an opening remarks, and also if you could also answer this question: what does Black History and Women's History Month mean to you, in your comments as well? Thank you and welcome.
Sure. And good evening, and thank you, Ms. Martinez, and I'd just like to recognize Senator Brooks for exercising the leadership to bring us all together this evening in celebration of Black History Month and Women's History Month. As I thought about these two important celebrations, I realized that there are lots of similarities between the two. And so what I'd like to do is put my remarks in the context of a quote from Dr. Lonnie Bunch. And Dr. Bunch, if you don't know, is the current executive director of the Smithsonian Museum of American History in Washington. But more important, Dr. Bunch was the founding executive director of the Museum of African American History in Washington, DC. And Dr. Bunch says that you can tell a lot about a nation by what it deems significant enough to remember. The monuments it erects, what they display in their museums, or what holidays they choose to embrace. And the reason why I start with this is because while we are celebrating Black History Month, and while we're celebrating Women's History Month, we have to understand that we do this because, unfortunately, we haven't done an adequate job describing and telling the whole truth about our history. And so the month of February commemorates Black History Month, and we do it by celebrating the achievements of African Americans throughout our nation's history. The month affords an opportunity for all of us to renew our commitment to remembering our rich history. And to appreciate our history, we must recognize the vast contributions of the true heroes who came before us, while reaffirming our strong commitment to social justice. Also, the month of March is designated Women's History Month. And this is the month where we revel in learning about all manner of female history makers, from big names to unsung heroes. It is also a time when we focus on learning more about the female perspective on big movements in our history. And like Black history, when it comes to women's history, the story of women is largely one of exclusion, silence, absent, and bias. And we need a month at a minimum to redress that imbalance. And I would dare say that we should ensure that we have both Black history and women's history throughout the curriculum and not be confined to just 1 month. Because we understand that women have made a lot of history, but sometimes looking at our history books, you wouldn't exactly know that. Dr. Lisa Delpit reminds us that if we are to successfully educate all of our young people, we must work to remove the blinders built on stereotypes, monoculture methodologies, ignorance, social distance, biased research, racism, and sexism. We must work to destroy those binders so that it is possible to really see and really know the students we teach and how they learn. And why you might say, well, why is all of this important? There's a very famous Nigerian female writer. Her name is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. And in her powerful description of the danger of the single story, she argues the following, that inherent in stories is a danger. The danger of only knowing one story about a group. And the single story creates stereotypes. And the problem with stereotypes is not just that they aren't true, but they are incomplete stories. They make one story become the definitive story. And unfortunately, for too many in America, many of our young people and adults have been victims of the single story. Now, I believe we're in an incredible moral moment. And what we do in this moment will impact the lives of young people for generations to come. And by recasting the accomplishments of African Americans and all women as central to the development of our world, we give our students the knowledge they need to understand the social and geopolitical nature of the past and present, and the esteem they need to fashion themselves as change makers. And so in closing, I would end with this. There's a Ghanaian graphic communication system of the Ndinkra, and it represents a design known as the Sankofa. And the Sankofa is portrayed as a bird moving forward, but looking backwards. And the Sankofa loosely translates to the following: go back and fetch it. It suggests that one should profit from the experience and learn from the past as a way to move into the future. And relevant history always passes on a story, and in so doing, provides a way to look back as a means of moving forward. Thank you.
How beautiful put together. Thank you so much. Dr. Lester, I really appreciate everything you share. It's really just identify exactly what it is to have leadership, integrity, and determination. So thank you so much. But I would like to take this opportunity to everyone to get to know a little bit of who Dr. Lester Young is. Dr. Lester Young is serving his third term of Regents at Large at the University of State of New York. At the January 2021 Board of Regents meeting, Dr. Young was anonymously elected by his peers to be Chancellor effective January 12, 2021. Congratulations. Currently, he co-chairs the P212 Education Committee and chairs the Regent Workshop to improve outcomes for boys and young women of color and the Early Childhood Workshop. Continuing his commitment to serving, in 2014, Dr. Young was appointed to the New York State Juvenile Justice Advisory Group, a career educator. Dr. Young has served as a teacher, guidance counselor, supervisor of special education, principal, associate commissioner with the New York State Education Department, and superintendent of Community Schools District 13. He also led the first New York City Office of Youth Development and School Community Service, a recognized educational leader and innovator. He was responsible for establishing some of the more successful high school and middle school in New York City and reproducing the nationally recognized Algebra Project and Commerce School Development Program. Dr. Young is founding member and current chair of the Adelaide L. Stanford Institute and co-chairs the Community Advisory Council for Boys and Girls High School. He is a life member of the National Alliance of Black School Educators and Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity. He also serves on the advisory board of the Eagle Academy High School and the New York Office of Children Defense Fund, the Brooklyn Children's Museum, and the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation. Dr. Young volunteers as a member to principals and aspiring leaders throughout New York City. He has been recognized by many local national educations and civic education organizations for his professional contributions. We celebrate you today. Thank you, Dr. Lester.
Thank you. Thank you for those more than generous introduction. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here tonight with us. At this moment, I would like to introduce to you Maria Jordan Awalum. She will be introducing us to our next guest speaker that will be celebrated as well. Thank you, Maria.
Good evening, everyone, and it's my honor to introduce Dr. Paula Fize-May Olivier. Dr. Paula Fize-May Olivier was born in Brooklyn, New York. She spent the early years of her life in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and then moved to Miami, Florida. She is a graduate of Oakwood University with a BA in Ministerial Theology and a minor in Psychology. She holds a Master of Divinity from Andrews University Theological Seminary and a Doctor of Ministry degree from United Theological Seminary. She is the author of the book Battle Tested: Breaking Through Challenges to Build Your Best Life Now. She has received numerous awards, including a joint legislative resolution from the Senate and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey for her leadership. Among other responsibilities, she is part of the Freeport Police Community Clergy Initiative, sponsored by the Community Affairs Division, and she serves as a member of the Nassau County District Attorney's Freeport Advisory Council. Her preaching ministry has been featured in local and national conferences, radio and television, including the Hope Channel and 3ABN. She has spoken across the United States, Canada, Europe, Central America, the Caribbean, Venezuela, and Israel. Dr. Olivier is a trailblazer, is the first female lead pastor of Haitian descent in the Seventh-day Adventist denomination. She currently pastors in the Ebenezer SDA Church in Freeport, New York. She is passionate about soul winning, leadership, motivational speaking, and personal growth. Dr. Olivier is a certified speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team. She is married to the wonderful Dr. Smith Olivier, who is an ordained minister. Thank you.
Dr. Paula, if you would please take a moment to say your opening remarks and as well answering the question, what does Black History and Women's History Month mean to you? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Brooks and his office, my friend Lucia, Melody, your team. Wonderful to see you again, Maria, my friend. We serve on councils together. I truly appreciate you. I want to congratulate my fellow honorees. It is a privilege to share this panel with you. I'm privileged to pastor the Ebenezer Seventh-day Adventist Church in Freeport, a wonderful congregation that loves the Lord and loves to serve people. We take our charge from our Savior to serve everyone with dignity and respect very seriously, and we take it to heart. I'll keep it brief since I'm not the keynote speaker. Thank you, Dr. Young, for that wonderful message. I'll just answer the question, what does Black History Month and Women's History Month mean to me? I'll answer it by saying, Stephen Covey wrote that everything is created twice, first in the mind and then in reality, which reminds us that imagery is important. Imagery impacts how we think of ourselves, and our thoughts are precursors to the reality we create. Of course, I agree with Dr. Young that Black history and women's history should be taught all year long. However, I am grateful for Black History Month and Women's History Month because it is a time we intentionally promote positive images of women and members of the Black diaspora. This signals to our youth that you indeed can be and do anything. And I appreciate this season because it encourages our youth to think big. And as they say, shoot for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll land among stars. Thank you very much for this honor.
Wow, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. I mean, it's very impacting to the youth, and just to know that you could reach the sky, right? And the fact that you could reach the moon, but then get the stars when you try to aim for that. So thank you so much. That was such a beautiful, positive impact message that you gave, Pastor Olivier. Thank you so much. It's great to honor you and celebrate you this wonderful day. Thank you for being here with us. At this moment, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce to you Daphne Irizarry. Daphne Irizarry is part of our work group as well, and she will introduce our next guest celebrating here for honoring you as well.
Good evening, buenas noches. It is my pleasure to read the bio of Deborah Payton Jones, who I have to say it's a force to be reckoned with. I want to be like her when I grow up. It says, Miss Payton Jones started her career as a community organizer as a student in Colebake High School, while earning her Regents Diploma, high school diploma, and cosmetology degrees all in her senior year. Ms. Peyton-Jones first worked as an election inspector, following in the footsteps of her parents, who also served as inspectors in Suffolk County. Throughout Deborah's travels, there have been many constants. The one that stands out is that she was an election inspector in every city she has lived since she was 18 years old. She matriculated and is a graduate of Florida A&M University, earning a Bachelor of Science in Business Management from the School of Business and Industry. Ms. Peyton-Jones was employed by Bristol Mayors as a territory sales representative immediately after college and was employed at the Fashion Institute of Technology for 32 years and recently retired during the pandemic as the volunteer coordinator, also serving as the university's voter registration coordinator. She received a myriad of awards, including the prestigious SUNY, State University of New York, Chancellor's Award for Excellence in Professional Service, Town of Babylon Department of Human Services during the prestigious 26th Annual Black History Month celebration. In 2015, the National Pan-Hellenic Council Service of the Year 2017 honoree, the 2019 Long Island Legacy Gala Trailblazer honoree by the Islip Town NAACP, the Holy Trinity Baptist Church 2019 MLK honoree at the 5th Annual Martin Luther King Jr. Program, the Citizen of the Year 2019 bestowed by the 3D Aftercare Inc., Citizen of the Year 2020 bestowed by the Chi Rho chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Inc. Lots of awards. Ms. Peyton-Jones will be the Town of Babylon keynote speaker for the 32nd Annual Women's History Month program, speaking on the theme, Valiant Women of the Vote, Refusing to be Silenced. Ms. Peyton-Jones served on the 2020 Census Complete Count Committee for Nassau and Suffolk counties. She was appointed as a charter member of the FIT Diversity Council, elected to the US of FIT as assistant treasurer, delegate to RA NYSET, serves as a moderator for Black Long Island, serves as a social action chairperson for the Suffolk County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc., and enjoys her active role as a member of Perfecting Faith Church. Ms. Peyton-Jones served as a member of the Suffolk County Sheriff's Advisory Board under Republican Sheriff DeMarco, and currently serves as a member of the Suffolk County Sheriff's Advisory Board under Democratic Sheriff Toulon. It is Ms. Peyton's honors and fervent desire to work at high levels of efficiency, to pay respect to those that have come before her, pay it forward, and to be a shining example of what is possible for all to see. And with all that said, I would like to then ask Ms. Peyton, what does Black History Month and Women's History Month mean to you?
I have to thank my pastor, Pastor Donnie McClurkin, my husband, and my daughter, because without my husband and my daughter, none of these works would be possible. And my massive, massive, massive family that are all tuned in from all over the country at this point. I see Miami, I see North Carolina, I see Portchester. Valiant women of the vote refusing to give up. What does Black history mean to me? I have sheroes, some past, some present. My first shero that I just want to briefly speak about is Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer is the epitome of a valiant woman who did not refuse and did not stop. She traveled 26 miles to register to vote in her town, her county in Mississippi. Once she traveled, they were then arrested. They were arrested and beat within a moment, an inch, a hair of her life. But she didn't give up. She was a sharecropper's wife. Now, this sounds like it was so long ago, but this is during my lifetime. All of this took place in 1962. I'm not going to tell you how old I was, but that took place in 1962. And she then went home, and being a sharecropper's wife, they said, you have to leave. She said, I will not give up my right to become a full citizen. I will not. And she left. Fannie Lou Hamer is someone you should look up. You should research. You should understand. My mother is my shero, having lost her mother at the age of 1 and then having 11 children and still being able to get a degree in 1945 from another historically Black college and university, North Carolina. My mother is, and God rest her soul, will always be my shero. The 22 founders of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated are my sheroes. During the time in 1913 when Black and white women were not harmonious in any way other than in a servitude way, they then were the only Black group to march with the suffragettes in that historic march. So we have to make sure that we understand our history. If we don't understand our history, then we're doomed to repeat things that we don't need to repeat. I will then say that my daughter, who is working on her master's, another chocolate child working on her master's, 23 years old, is another one of my heroes. She's a shero. She is untiringly giving of her time and her energy, not only to me in the endeavors that we do, but to our church and to all that we endeavor. So I thank, and I waited till last to thank my good friend, John Brooks. And I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures that we have taken over the years that include our own Senator John Brooks. Now, you may ask, Deborah, he's not your senator, but he's the senator of the area where I go to church, Perfecting Faith Church, as you'll see in these photos. And you see, he was with us in Albany when we were with the UCE of FIT, as we were representing and lobbying, never taking an opportunity or missing an opportunity to be at Bethel Church, to be at Perfecting Faith Church when we had our outdoor events, to be here representing our Suffolk County Executive, Steve Ballone. So just enjoy the photos as I've enjoyed years and years and years of working with Senator Brooks, the census, and everything that he does to make sure that our communities are taken care of. We need to make sure we lift him in prayer at this time. As he stated at the top of this hour, he's not feeling well. And I think it's because of all the good deeds he does. Finally, I'll say that because of all these works, we have started our own not-for-profit, and it's called Voter Education 365. Have a blessed day, and the work continues. And thank you each for exercising your right to vote. Have a blessed day.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. You know, it's an inspiration really to listen to all of you who have really expressed, you know, what you've done.
Han expresado unos sentimientos.
So we are really inspired, and you're leaving a legacy to our youth. And thank you so much to everyone that's here today who is being honored and celebrated. So at this moment, it is an honor as well to introduce to you our presenter for next speaker. I'm going to ask Jessica Fernandez, who is part of our work group as well, to introduce our next guest speaker and someone who's celebrating and honoring as well. Jessica?
Thank you, Lucia. Good night. I am so happy right now to introduce Gail Gertrude. I worked with her and with Deborah during the Census 2020, thanks to Lucia, and I witnessed how this woman worked hard with enthusiasm, with commitment for the community. No matter the pandemic, no matter nothing, they were there, you know, cheering up the people from the census and the people that come to help asking for help. So saying that, Gail is member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, inducted by the Hofstra University chapter upon her graduation from Westbury High School. Gail attended FIT as an advertising and communications major and as a peer in Essence and Beauty Trade magazines. While serving as an assistant public affairs director, youth director for Get Stores, she received the Youth Achievement Award from the Queens chapter of the National Association of Negro and Professional Women, presented to her by the late Percy Sutton for her work with high school age students in the greater Queens area. Receiving her SHRM certification from the American Management Association, NYC, she was employed as a human resources administrator within the worldwide HR department of ad agency Admiratis Puris Lintas, New York City, a division for the Interpublic Group. Later, she served in a similar capacity on 7th Avenue, NYC, for the fashion conglomerate Pegasus Apparel Group, funded by Stephen Rousseau, former COO of Donna Karan. This experience, she feels, has equipped her to know serve God and his children with love in the missions department of Perfecting Faith Church. Thank you, Gail. And as well, we will ask you, what does Black History and Women History Month means for you?
Good evening, everyone. I wish to thank everyone for the honor of being presented this award tonight, Senator Brooks and all of his staff, and of course, the leadership of Perfecting Faith Church, headed by our senior pastor, Donald A. McClurkin, and all of my missions team. In answer to the question, Jessica, and thank you for that, being a woman who's an African-American, the annual society celebrations of both are encouraging, heartwarming, and uplifting. But more than that, the acknowledgement of the prior generations who fought and preserved for equality, justice, and fair representation serve as a lasting testimony to their lives' work in the struggle both to serve and edify God's people and the lives of one another. I stand on their shoulders, and I pray for the grace to continue in their footsteps. I pray that one day, as Dr. King said, it will not be the color of the skin, but the content of our character and the love that we show through one another. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful said. I like what you said. It's not the content of character, it's really the love that we show. And that's what's really all about. Thank you so much for being here today. It's really a pleasure to meet you as we celebrate you here for this celebration. Thank you for your beautiful words. At this moment, it is my privilege and my honor to introduce to you Dr. Odette R. Hall. She is the Chief Medical Examiner at Suffolk County Medical Examiner's Office. Thank you for being here today. Just to give you a little bit of background of who Dr. Hall is. Dr. Hall is a native of New York City, born and raised in Jamaica, Queens. Her dreams to become a doctor began with the desire to help people and make a difference in their lives during some of their most vulnerable moments. Dr. Hall received her Bachelor's of Science degree in Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia in 1996, a Doctor of Medicine degree from the State University of New York at Downstate in Brooklyn, New York. In 2002, a residency program in anatomic and clinical pathology at the University of California at Irving, Anaheim, California in 2006. And she a subspecialty fellowship in pediatric pathology at St. Christopher's Hospital for Children in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 2007. And subspecialty fellowship in forensic pathology at the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of City of New York in New York in 2008. And a selective fellowship in forensic cardiovascular pathology and forensic neuropathology in 2009. Also at the Office of Chief Medical Examiner of the City of New York. Dr. Hall joined the Suffolk County Medical Examiner Office in 2009 and has been there since, save for one more year spent back at the OCME New York in 2014. She took the position of Deputy Chief Medical Examiner in March 2019 and was appointed to the position of Chief Medical Examiner of Suffolk County in November 2020. Now, during her downtime, she spends her time meditating, spending time with her family and friends, and planning home improvement projects. Thank you, Dr. Hall. It's a privilege really to have you here today and to honor you and celebrate you for who you are and what you have accomplished. If you could please, just share with us, what does Black history and woman history mean to you?
First and foremost, thank you for having me. Thank you, Senator Brooks. It is really an honor to be considered to be on this panel with, so many accomplished people and involved people and community-oriented people. So I do appreciate the opportunity to be amongst greatness. What does Black History and Women's History Month mean to me? Really, they are months where the world has to see what it is that we do. But on a day-to-day basis, every day, all year, we are making history, we are celebrating our history, we are performing history. So really, February and March are just the months where we open our doors, we pull back our curtains, and we show the world what it is that we've done. Sort of piggyback what everyone said so far in terms of our history isn't celebrated enough. Isn't celebrated in the world at large enough, but it's celebrated amongst us plentiful. And I am proud to be a member of that community and celebrating and to be a part of history as well. I joke with my friends and family that, I wanted to make a dot someplace in that that book of Black history, and to have actually accomplished that, really, it's surreal. I can't even really believe it. But as I said before, it's not something that's only happening in February. It's not something that's only happening in March. It is happening every day, all day, 365/66 days a year. And this is just a moment for the world to see how great we are.
What an inspiration. Really, thank you so much. I think that, whoever has a dream in life, there's no limit, the sky is the limit. So thank you so much, because I know that you're touching many young youth, their hearts. I know they're watching right now, and it's just so inspiring, your stories, everybody's stories here tonight. So thank you for being here and for celebrating who you are. Thank you. It's a privilege and an honor, really. At this moment, I would like to give the opportunity and pass the mic to Maria to introduce our next speaker. Maria, thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, again. And it's my honor to introduce Kessie Tolliver. Kessie Tolliver began her education career as a volunteer student, mentor with Gear Up, and now has 15 years of experience in education. She began her educational career as a general education teacher in the Wyandanch Union Free School District. She holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from SUNY College, Old Westboro, New York, and a master's degree in special education and general ed from Dowling College. For 12 years, she had been working as an ELA coordinator, lead teacher, assisting the Wyandanch Middle School with ELA leadership. Kessie currently serves in the capacity of academic intervention specialist. She coordinates teaching in classrooms, ensuring continuity for specialized needs of students. She is active in the community doing student outreach. Kessie was awarded the 2018 Scope Teacher Award for service and the Outstanding Teacher Award by Suffolk County Legislator Duane Gregory. She continues to volunteer through the pandemic with much needed food distribution in conjunction with the Wyandanch School District and Island Harvest. She strives to promote excellence for all and is committed to closing the achievement gap in Wyandanch, New York. Thank you for being here tonight. And the same question goes for you, Kessie. What does Black History and Women's History Month mean to you?
Good evening. Thank you, everybody, for even considering me. Congratulations to everybody listening to the bios that came before me. I feel like I'm sitting on a panel of giants, so thank you for the great company. When I think of Black history and women's history, the word that stands out to me is perseverance, going through the difficult times and not giving up. going through, trying to get to where you need to be, even though something is difficult, understanding that things do not happen in the time in which we want them to happen, that they will happen if we are consistent and following our dreams. Thinking of the people who had to struggle before us to get to where we are today, that is what Black history means to me. And one of the other panelists mentioned Fannie Lou Hamer and really looking into her story. I'm proud to say that as a teacher, I have brought Fannie Lou Hamer into our classroom, and we have taught several important people from history. We've gone over the Little Rock Nine, the Tuskegee Airmen. I had to write some notes. We went over the story of Emmett Till. Most recently, we're reading Turning 15 on the Road to Freedom about the March on Selma. And one book that we constantly focus on is The Skin I'm In. So I try to bring those things into our classroom 9 months out of the year, not just during the 1 or 2 months that are designated. So that's what it means to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perseverance, never giving up. Thank you so much. What a beautiful word. Really, not looking back, but looking always forward to the goal. So thank you so much for that, those beautiful words this evening. At this moment, I would like to introduce to you our next guest speaker. And our next guest speaker, we have Monique Demeroy. And Monique, it's a lead counselor from the Wyandanch Union Free School District. And at this moment, I would like to continue, if you don't mind, Maria, introducing her as well.
Sure. It's my honor again to introduce Mr. Monique Demeroy. Her bio, it's a little bit about her. Monique was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York, and moved to Wyandanch, New York when she was 4 years old. A product of the Wyandanch Union Free School District, Monique was able to earn a full academic scholarship to attend St. Lawrence University, earning her undergraduate degree in history and graduate degree in counseling and human development, and she returned to Long Island to pursue a career in the human services field. She recently completed a certificate in educational leadership at Stony Brook University. She is also a proud alum of the Parent Leadership Initiative, the PLI, and the Leading in the Community LIC certificate program at Adelphi University. For 12 years, she worked as a child care counselor supervisor and program manager serving adolescent boys and girls at various agencies. This experience provided her the opportunity to raise boys to men and girls to women. Her youngsters were encouraged, supported, and expected to excel academically, and all that remained under her program through high school graduated. Congratulations on that. In 2004, Monique was able to achieve one of her goals of becoming a school guidance counselor at her alma mater, Wyandanch Memorial High School. In her capacity as a school counselor at the high school and currently at the Milton L. Olive Middle School, Monique has been able to continue her life's work educating and serving the scholars and the families of the Wyandanch Union Free School District. She has been dedicated to increasing rigor and expanding honors programs and scholar participation in college courses. She helped to revitalize and organize the student government and National Honor Society organizations, guiding young people as they acquire and strengthen their leadership, interpersonal speaking, presentation, networking, and planning organizational skills. Mr. Demeroy has worked to expose our scholars to cultural, scholarly, community service, and fun activities that enrich their learning experience. She has consistently searched for supported and coordinated programming inside and outside of the school that will benefit our young people, such as the Hope and Rise programs, BIP, SIP, Warrior and Kids Matter mentoring programs, MLO Hispanic Heritage, Black History and Women's History Month Speaker Series program, along with the Question of the Day contest. Having been taught well by her former education as well as that of her family's values, giving back is a philosophy she lives by. A former member of the Scholarships Committee of Wyandanch for several years, Ms. DeMori was honored to serve the organization that honored her academic achievement as a high school student. When her best friend was killed in a tragic accident, she and her family established the Gina Torres Hodgins Memorial Scholarship and have awarded over $10,000 in scholarships to graduating Latinas who have overcome personal hardship. Ms. DeMori has also been dedicated to raising awareness and money for people living with lupus. She participated in 10 lupus walk-alongs and raised thousands of dollars for research and support. Additionally, Ms. DeMori is a very active member of the Parent-Teacher Association at the middle school. Family-oriented, she is dedicated to her parents, Jimmy DeMori and Nellie Hubbard. She gathers tremendous strength and support from sisters. Ms. DeMori experiences joy and love from her nieces and nephews. Working and serving the community of Wyandanch is a labor of love and pride. Monique is a warrior victorious. And I think your bio pretty much explains everything. But what does Black History and Women's Month mean to you? And thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Senator Brooks and his staff for having this celebration, for having me as an honoree, and the willingness to allow me and others a few moments to share. And it's wonderful and humbling to be in the company of such esteemed honorees and participants. You know, I had the benefit of having an epiphanous moment while I was in undergraduate school. And this moment changed my pathway from that of becoming an accountant or an economist to that of a counselor and advocate. Working with and for young people is my calling, and I put forth major effort to fulfill my responsibility. It so happens that responsibility is the Wyandanch pride character trait for the month of March. We use these traits as anchors when we co-teach SEL lessons for all of our scholars. And we hear responsibility all the time, but what does responsibility actually mean? Responsibility is the state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or having control over someone. Responsibility is the state or fact of being accountable or to blame for something. Responsibility is the opportunity or ability to act independently and make decisions without authorization. Responsibility is a thing that one is required to do as part of a job, role, or legal obligation. Responsibility is a moral obligation to behave correctly toward or in respect of. The celebrations of Hispanic Heritage Month, Black History Month, and Women's History Month is the responsibility of public education. We provide opportunities for our scholars to learn about themselves and others as we promote appreciation for diverse peoples and cultures. We are all responsible. We are responsible to encourage our scholars to find and use their voices as they share their stories. It is our responsibility to acknowledge, celebrate, and engage all of our scholars. We must provide the forums and the brave space for our scholars. For my hometown of Wyandanch, that includes our Black, our Latino, our LGBTQIA scholars and their families, all of our scholars. We are responsible to ensure that measures used in the past to silence our voices are not used by us now. In our celebrations at Milton Olive Middle School, our speaker series provided the engagement of our scholars with homegrown warriors. All of our presenters are alumni of our school district. From Monique Murphy, Rasan Maihan, Dr. Kevin Bonilla, Jorge Portillo, Margaret Rivera Simpson, Lashika Lewis, and Tanya Crawford, they've all returned home. They embody the idea that I am you and you are me. lawyers, doctors, nurses, biochemists, business folks, executive assistants, counselors, etc. They all came home to share, inspire, validate, and motivate our scholars. Our question of the day contests provide research opportunities and friendly competition amongst scholars and staff. Until greater equity exists in our educational, political, law enforcement, legal, healthcare, economic arenas, these monthly celebrations, they're crucial. And it is our responsibility to celebrate them with fidelity in all of our schools. And so that's how I feel. Again, I thank you all for the opportunity to allow me to participate and share, and I am humble to be included in such company. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, you know, you gave us so much wealth of information, and we have a very clear picture of what the definition of responsibility is. So thank you so much for that. You know, and the fact that I think everybody here could say that, you know, what you do is a labor of love, and that we're here to serve others, and that we do it with love. So that's really beautiful and unique. So thank you so much, Ms. Demeroy, for really sharing what it is to be responsible and have that responsibility. Thank you. At this moment, I would like to introduce to you again, Daphne, if you could please introduce our next honoree.
Thank you, Lucia. And it's a privilege to introduce now one of our students honoree. Her name is Alisa Marcel. And Alisa M is 9 years old and is a third grade student at New Visions Elementary School in Freeport Public School District. Since attending New Visions from kindergarten, Alisa has been an outstanding student academically and socially. I have to say, your picture is so cute. She has been in the dual language program since first grade and is thriving. Alisa loves to come to school to learn new things and always has a beautiful smile to greet her classmates and teacher. Alisa is particularly proud to share the birthday of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was born on January 15th. When she was younger, Alisa loved to play school with her friends and now wants to become a teacher when she graduates from college. When she is not in school, Alisa loves to sing, dance, and play with her friends. She also enjoys spending quality time with her family and just having fun. Hi, Alisa. And the question is the same as before. What does Black history and women's history mean to you as a 9-year-old young lady?
Hello. Black History Month and Women's History Month means a lot to me because
a little louder, please.
It helped me in school and to learn about culture and life and new things.
Thank you, Alisa. You did a great job. I know it's a little nervous, right? But you did a great job. Lucia?
Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. It's really an honor to have you here today, joining us. And this is just, you know, many of presentations you're going to have because you're going to become an excellent teacher. And that's because, you know already what you want to do. And a teacher serves and enjoys really sharing with others life, and you have really selected a really good profession as well to be an educator. You've seen so many different examples in your life, I think. So thank you for being here, Alyssa. It's really a privilege to have you here. At this moment, I would like to invite Jessica to introduce our next honoree.
Hi, Keturah. I love Wandash. I work a lot with the community, so it's my pleasure to say that Keturah Ferjus is a 10th grade student at Wandash Memorial High School. She's in the Farmingdale P-Tech program and has a current GPA of 3.1. Keturah is on the junior varsity volleyball team and is now a member of National Honor Society. She is hardworking and dedicated to being positive light for her community. So Keturah, you came from a very, very strong and beautiful community, which is Wandash. So what does it mean to you be part of the Black and the Woman History Month?
Well, I suppose it means that no matter how you started, whether you started in the back of the line or in the front, that you can achieve what you want. I think it recognizes the fact that with discipline and hard work, you can change the world. It doesn't matter how you start, but more so about the journey and how you finish. And it's like a constant reminder to younger generations like myself to know our roots and to use them to further advance ourselves now and not just in the future.
That's true. Enjoy the journey is the best. So congratulations, Lucia.
Thank you so much. I like what you said about being disciplined and hard work, and it's the journey, right? It's the final destination, and really, it's a work, and it's just beautiful what you said. This is a journey. What matters is that you get there. So thank you so much, and we honor you today, and thank you for being here. At this moment, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Monique Habersham. She is the principal at the Wyandotte Union Free School District, and we are celebrating and honoring you as well. Thank you for being here. And, Dr. Monique Habersham graduated of Nassau Community College and SUNY Binghamton, Cooney Hunter College, and Hofstra University. She is the principal of Martin Luther King Jr., La Francis Hartman Elementary School, and the La Francis Hartman's Annex. She has served the Wyandotte community for 6 years. She strongly believes when you lead with your heart, teachers will follow with theirs. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, and congratulations, and we honor you today. If you could please, again, what does Black History Month and Women History Month mean to you?
Well, this is a surprise. Thank you. I had no idea. So short and sweet, what Black History Month and Women's History Month means to me is I am. I am because they were. I am because I'm Black. I am because I am a woman. So it means I am every day. Thank you.
Lucia, I think you're muted. Sorry.
Sorry, it's an honor to have you here today and to congratulate you on this wonderful day to honor Women's History Month and Black History Month. Thank you for being here. And I'm gonna right now pass it to Melody, who will take it over. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you here today. You've really been a blessing to all of us. Thank you for everything you've done and continue to do.
Thank you, Lucia. And again, congratulations to all our honorees and our students that are here with us today. I'm really humbled to be here and also to hear of all the great achievements that you've done thus far. So I really appreciate it. Now I would like to play a performance by the Freeport School District. We have two students, Alyssa Marcel and Samira Lawal, that will be performing. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Marcel from New Visions. I'll be reciting a poem by Amanda Gorman. She is the youngest African-American poet who recited her poem at the inauguration of President Biden and Vice President Harris. The Miracle of Morning by Amanda Gorman. I thought I awaked to a warning, heavy clouds crowding, a society storming. But there's something different on this golden morning. Something magical in the sunlight, wide and warming. I see a dad with a stroller taking a jog. Across the street, a bright-eyed girl chases her dog. A grandma on a porch fingers her rosaries as she grins as her young neighbor brings her groceries. While we might feel small, separate, and all alone, our people have never been more closely tethered. The question isn't if we can weather this unknown, but how we will weather this unknown together. So on this meaningful morn, we mourn and we mend. Like light, we can't be broken even when we bend. As one, we will defeat both despair and disease. We stand with healthcare heroes and all employees, families, libraries, waiters, schools, artists, businesses, restaurants, and hospitals hit hearts. We ignite not in the light, but in lack thereof. For it is in loss that we truly learn to love. In this chaos, we will discover clarity. In suffering, we must find solidarity. For it is our grief that gives us our gratitude, shows us how to find hope if we ever lose it. So ensure that this ache wasn't endured in vain. Do not ignore the pain. Give it purpose. Use it. Read children's books, dance along to DJ music. Know that this distance will make our hearts grow fonder. From these ways of woes, our world will emerge stronger. We'll observe how the burdens braved by humankind are also the moments that make us humankind. Let each morning find us courageous, brought closer, heeding the light before the fight is over. When this ends, we'll smile sweetly, finally seeing, in testing times, we became the best of these.
Congratulations, and thank you again, Alyssa and Samir, for the great job that you did. I'm sure everyone's clapping at home. And now I would like to play a spoken word by Katura. Her poem is called Curls, Coils, and Coconut Oils. Enjoy.
Tour for Just, and I'm reading my poem called Curls, Coils, and Coconut Oils. Her hair spiraled out of control. The hate so strong built a hole in her soul. No brush or comb or any magic trick could get this little girl's hair to slick. So she left it as it was in a natural afro state. Her parents loved her hair, no, they would not negate. So she accepted her fate and headed off to school, sweat droplets forming an enormous pool. She was met with smiles and, oh my gosh, your hair is so pretty. Being surrounded with compliments was starting to make her feel giddy. She went back home with a smile that glowed, sunshiny gap tooth and a cute button nose. I love my hair, she exclaimed with glee, and we love you and our Black history. We love your coconut curls and your coconut coils. Your brilliance and ambitious future can never be spoiled.
Congratulations, and thank you again, Katura, for providing us with this great spoken word. And now I would like to show you as well another presentation by the Wyandanch Union Free School District featuring some scholars, Bachina, Waikela, and Christina. Enjoy.
Beyonce, no less. I am Beyonce. I wonder if everyone loves my music. I hear people listening to my music on the radio. I see crowds of people when I perform. I want my kids to be happy. I am Beyonce. I pretend I'm on vacation in the islands. I feel happy when I see my fans smile. I touch the sparkly microphone when I perform. I worry that I might fall on stage while I'm dancing with my heels. I get really upset when I don't get an award for the best female artist. I am Beyonce. I understand sometimes why I don't pick me for an award. I sing meaningful lyrics when I perform. I dream about being the best singer in the whole wide world. I try to be a great example for women and girls everywhere. I hope my fans are proud of my music. I am Beyonce. Aretha Louise Franklin, more known as Aretha Franklin or Queen of Soul, was born on March 25th, 1942 in Memphis, Tennessee. She grew up in Detroit, Michigan. She died on August 16, 2018 in Detroit. Aretha is not just a gospel singer, she is an actor and songwriter. In Aretha's childhood, there was a lot of gospel because her dad was a Baptist preacher and her mom was a gospel singer. Aretha went to Northern Senior High School. She went to Juilliard School for college. At the age of 18, she became a gospel singer for the New Baptist Church, where her father was a Baptist preacher. Aretha got married to Glenn Turman. They got married on April 11, 1973 in Detroit, Michigan at her dad's church. Aretha had 4 children. Her children's names are Teddy Richard, Clarence Franklin, Edward Franklin, and Keith Cunningham. She is famous for a lot of things, and some of the reasons why she is famous are for her hit songs which are Respect, Freeway to Love, and I Say a Little Prayer. Aretha has been on television multiple times and has been in movies like The Blues Brothers 2000, Amazing Grace, and Muscle Show. Aretha has been on the front pages of magazines multiple times. She held top 100 hot singles by women. Aretha has 8 consecutive Grammys, 17 overall.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm here representing Girl Scouts for Black History Month. I am a 5th grade virtual scholar at MLK Elementary School. Today I will be talking about Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe Robinson is a singer and performer. She was born December 1st, 1985. She is a Sagittarius like me. The type of music she likes is funky music. She said that in an interview 10 years ago when I was a baby. I chose her because I love to sing like she does. I love to dance like she does, and she's talented and creative like me. Those are the similarities we share. She doesn't let judgment or criticism bring her down, and neither do I. I'm a leader, not a follower, and so is Janelle Monáe.
Some people talk about you like they know all about you. When you get down, they doubt you. And when you dip it on the scene, yeah, they talking about it. Cause they can't dip on the scene, what you talk about it. Talking about it. When you get elevated, they love it or they hate it. You dance up on them haters, keep getting funky on the scene while they jumping around you. They trying to take all of your dreams, but you can't allow it. Cause baby, whether you're high or low, or whether you're high or low, you got to chip on the tightrope. Chip on the tightrope. Baby, baby, whether you're high or low.
Congratulations and thank you again for the students in Wyandanch Union Free School District. And I also wanted to mention Miss Kelly Ureña, who made all this possible. Thank you so much for all of your help and for making sure that we were able to put this together in time. So thank you again. And now I would like to welcome Dr. Habersham, who will be speaking about how they have celebrated Black History Month at the Wyandanch Union Free School District. Thank you.
Before I start, I just want to say thank you to my Wyandanch family. This was truly a surprise. And what a way to surprise me during the ceremony. You have humbled me so much for thinking I am worthy of this recognition to share this platform with such dynamic women. So to my Wyandanch family, thank you so much. And to all the honorees, congratulations. I am honored to share this evening with you. To a special congratulations to my Perfecting Faith family, Gail and Deborah. Congratulations, and Deborah, my soror, beautiful job, well done. To my namesake, Monique Demori, lead counselor, outstanding. You are a dynamic individual inside and out. Ms. Tolliver, educator extraordinaire, I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to work in the same district with you. Senator Brooks, I wish you a speedy recovery, and I just want to thank Dr. Young for setting the tone for this evening. And once again, Wyandanch family, thank you. I came prepared to do this, so I'm going to do this, the PowerPoint. Ms. Kelly, you and I will talk. I love you so much. So Wyandanch Union Free School District celebrates Black History Month. Are we going to run the PowerPoint? Okay. So at my school, or one of them, Martin Luther King Elementary School, the scholars worked together by creating individual quilt patches for a collective display inspired by the artist Faith Ringgold. Remote scholars created digital quilt patches that were printed, and we made them the border around the quilt, while the in-person scholars drew and painted the individual patches. The quilt is based on Faith Ringgold's storybook, Tar Beach. This is the story about a young girl living in New York City with her family. She imagines she can fly, and when she does, whatever she flies over becomes hers to keep. And the next slide is a display of the quilt that is prominently displayed in the lobby of the MLK Elementary School. Congratulations to our scholars. We love you, and they're so talented. The Milton L. Olive Middle School Unity Quilt shows how scholars and staff, regardless of title and job, can come together and create. During slavery, quilting was used by slaves to pass hidden messages to help them to freedom. And after slavery, African Americans used quilting as a means to provide for their family. And in this picture, you see our Unity quilt from MLO with the principal, Dr. Darlene White, and assistant principal, Mr. Darrell Tu. In addition to quilting, Milton L. Olive had a series of guest speakers. This year, the theme for Black History Month was Black Family, Representation, Identity, and Diversity. And notable alumnus were invited to present to scholars. It was important for these men and women to come home and remind us that they are of this community and school district and have been successful in spite of and because of the Wyandanch community. And those who did not come in person were able to cross state lines and present virtually. The next slide is of our honoree, lead counselor, Ms. Demoy, and one of the speakers, Rashawn Sunny Myhan. Now, as you see, they're pointing to our core values: perseverance, respect, integrity, dignity, and empathy. Warriors are brave and we are leaders. Here you see the presenters, two of them, Mr. Myhan, and also we have my namesake again, Monique Nikki Y. Murphy. She's an author, diversity inclusion leader. Also, Mr. Myhan is a mentor, artist, and actor. So they came to present to our scholars at the MLO Middle School. In honor of Black History Month, the Kappa Leaguers from Wyandanch High School, Brooklyn Kappa Leaguers, Mr. Kenneth Skeen, Maintenance School District Leader, and the Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity volunteered their time to the Wyandanch Community Youth Center. They painted the classrooms, they built desks and chairs, they built bulletin boards, cleaned out the vents, and cleaned the yard of the property. The Kappa Leaguers' mission and passion is to uplift the community in all phases. They also created centers in each of the areas of the rooms. There is an art center, a game center, and a reading area for all students. There were historical pictures that were displayed on the walls to celebrate Black History Month. A few members of our community were on hand as well. Mr. James Crawford, our board president, and legislator, Mr. Jason Richburg. Each of these men, offered great words of encouragement to our Kappa Leaguers as they continue to work towards improving their community. And the next slides that you'll see are the Kappa Leaguers hard at work, improving the environment of the Wyandanch Community Youth Center and making a contribution towards greatness. This last slide is the Superintendent School Leadership Council. The Superintendent School Leadership Council is the brainchild of Dr. Gina Talbert, Superintendent of Schools of the Wyandanch District. Scholars representing elementary, middle, and high school engage in dialogue with district leaders as well as special invited guests. The goal is to have all voices represented to continue our upward trajectory towards greatness in Wyandanch. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Habersham, and thank you to all our honorees and all our students that participated with us this evening. It was honestly a pleasure and honor to hear from all of you and hear of all the great work that you're doing in our community and our district. We're very happy and honored to be able to have this platform to be able to celebrate you as well. And we thank also our attendees that have been with us tonight. Thank you for joining us and taking some time out of your day. Just in case you would like to reach out to Senator Brooks's office, we have displayed here his email address, his district phone number, as well as his website. And we do have 2 Facebook pages for the senator as well. One of them is English speaking, English language Facebook, and the other one is in Spanish. So be sure to follow us in there. We'll be continuing to post our upcoming webinars as we have been doing webinar series during the entire pandemic. So we hope that you'll join us next time. And again, thank you to all of you that participated in our work group and Senator Brooks's office. Thank you, Lucia and Mason, for helping us out with this. And I hope you all have a great evening. Take care and God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Have a blessed night.